Have you ever thought, what if one simple understanding could change the way we view our entire lives? Not when we were young. Not when everything was easy, but now, at an age full of stories. I'm 70 years old, and it's taken me 40 years to understand one important thing. It's not about money. It's not about power. It's not about being perfect. It's about life, which we often live too fast. Imagine life as a long journey. We're busy walking, sometimes running. We forget to see the scenery around us. And one day, we stop for a moment and ask ourselves quietly, am I really enjoying this journey? This video isn't about regret. It's not about blaming the past. It's about understanding. It's about acceptance. It's about finding peace at any age. Here, we'll share a simple story, a warm metaphor, a light-hearted thought, a story that can be understood by anyone, anywhere, around the world. If you've ever felt like life is moving too fast, if you've ever wondered, is there still time to be at peace? Then this story may be waiting for you, because no year is truly wasted. And it's never too late to understand life in a gentler way. Stay here. This journey has just begun. Imagine a quiet morning. The sunlight streams in slowly through the window. No rush. No pressure. In moments like that, our thoughts often become honest. I sit quietly, staring at my own hands, hands that have worked for decades. Hands that have given, and sometimes forgotten to receive. I am 70 years old, and today, I want to tell you something honestly. It took me 40 years to learn one simple thing. Not a big secret. Not a remarkable discovery, but something that, if I had understood sooner, my life might have felt a little easier. This video is not about regretting the past. It is not about blaming anyone. It is just a story. A story shared quietly, like sitting together on a park bench. If you are 50, 60, or 70, or anyone who feels like life is going too fast, this video is for you. Before we go any further, let me say one small thing. If stories like this have been comforting, if you felt accompanied even for a few minutes, please support this channel. Simply by subscribing, or hitting the like button, or leaving a simple comment. These small actions help these heartwarming stories continue to reach people all over the world. Thank you, from the heart. When I was young, I thought life was about being strong. Not complaining, not stopping, not questioning the direction. I thought, if I just keep going, I'll get there. It turns out, life isn't always about getting there. Sometimes it's about realizing where we are. 40 years passed in a flash. I woke up, worked, came home, slept. Those days weren't bad, but they never felt truly alive either. Like watching a movie, without sound. Life is like a big ship on a calm sea. If we don't hold the rudder, the ship keeps moving, but not in the direction we chose. And the funny thing is, many of us only look at the compass after we've passed the harbor. I'm not angry with myself. I just smile softly. It seems this is where I've been all along. Listen to this slowly. The biggest mistake isn't choosing the wrong path. The biggest mistake is never asking. I repeat, the biggest mistake isn't choosing the wrong path. The biggest mistake is never asking. At this age, time feels different. An hour feels fast. A day feels short. But precisely because of that, every awareness is precious. I realize that life isn't about how much we give, but whether we're ever fully present. There's a little joke I heard. When we're young, we wear watches. When we're old, we wear calendars. I laughed, because it's true, but that's okay. The calendar reminds us that every day still has an empty box. If you're watching this and thinking, I realized a lot of things too late. Let me say this gently. Realizing late is better than never realizing. Many people live long lives without ever stopping. You have stopped for a moment. That means you're still living consciously. Let this story linger in your heart for a moment, because life doesn't ask us to run anymore. It only asks us to be fully present. Next, we'll discuss a small habit that seems safe, seems normal, and is often considered a sign of maturity. In fact, it's this habit that slowly eats away at our time. Silently, not with major events, not with dramatic failures, but with days that feel ordinary. There's one thing I've been doing for decades without ever realizing it was a problem. I'm putting off my own life. I always say, later. Later when it's finished. Later when the time is right. The phrase, later, sounds polite. It sounds responsible. But, later, is also incredibly patient. It can wait until our hair turns gray. Life is like a book that we keep marking with little pieces of paper that say, read later. The book remains. The pages remain intact. But one day, we realize, we're already on the last page. And we haven't gotten to the important part yet. Listen to this slowly. Delaying life doesn't feel dangerous, because it doesn't hurt. I repeat, delaying life doesn't feel dangerous, because it doesn't hurt. It just takes away time, bit by bit. I once told myself, I'll rest later. I'll enjoy life later. But life never asks when. It just keeps going. The funny thing is, we often give time to everyone, except ourselves. There's a funny but true quote. We wait for the right time. While time is waiting for us, I smile every time I think about it. Because it's true. At this age, I've learned one important thing. Life doesn't wait for us to be ready. Life just wants us to be present. Not perfect. Not neat. Just be present. If there's one lesson from this life journey, it's this. Don't delay life just because you want everything to be safe. Sometimes, being safe can actually make us forget to breathe. Stop for a moment. Sit quietly, and ask one small question. What have I been putting off all this time? Next, we'll discuss a common mistake that's often praised as a sign of maturity, responsibility, and even love. However, without us realizing it, this mistake causes us to slowly disappear from our own lives. From a young age, I was taught to be strong. Strong means not talking much. Strong means giving in. Strong means always saying, yes. I became someone who could be relied on. Someone who was always there. Someone who rarely said no and everyone loved me. There was only one thing I didn't pay attention to, myself. Life is like a candle in a dark room. The candle gives light. It helps everyone see, but if the candle continues to burn without ever being replaced, it will burn out. In silence, there's no sound, there's no drama, only darkness. When it's too late, listen to this quietly. Giving is beautiful. But giving yourself away is not love. I repeat, giving is beautiful. But depriving oneself is not love. I remember one afternoon. I was sitting alone. The house was quiet. I asked quietly, when was the last time I did something just because I wanted to? It was a simple question. But the answer didn't come easily. There was a little quote that made me smile. We often forget to fill our own glass, because we're busy pouring into someone else's. I chuckled, because it was so true. At this age, I finally understand. Being kind doesn't mean always sacrificing yourself. We can say no without feeling guilty. We can rest without feeling selfish. If this journey of life leaves one message, it is this. Life doesn't ask us to run out. Life only asks us to be honest. Be honest with our bodies. Be honest with our hearts. Be honest with our limits. And remember, you're not lost. You just forgot to come home. Next, we'll discuss one small step that we often take for granted, but it's this step that makes the rest of our lives feel lighter. It's not a big decision. It's not a sudden change. It's just one simple choice that we ultimately make for ourselves. At this age, I'm no longer running against time. I've stopped comparing today with the past. I've stopped saying, if only it were. Because time doesn't ask us to go back. Time only asks us to be present. And presence always starts with one small step. Life is like a walk in a garden. When we're young, we want to get there quickly. When we're old, we start to see the flowers. There's nothing wrong with running. There's nothing wrong with walking slowly. The important thing is, we finally see. Listen to this calmly. It's never too late to live consciously. I repeat, it's never too late to live consciously. As long as we're still breathing, as long as our hearts can still feel warm. Life is still open. These small steps can be very simple. Saying no without guilt, rest without explanation. Enjoying the morning without rushing, listening to our bodies without forcing. Small things, but the impact is huge. Like opening a small window. In a room that's been closed for a long time, fresh air comes in. Slowly, but real, there's a light saying I like. We don't have to be the best version. Just be the honest version. I smile every time I think of it. Because life never asks us to be perfect. If you've been following this journey, let me say one thing from the heart. Those 40 years weren't in vain. They were the path that led us to this realization. And realization always comes at the right time. Now, if you sit quietly, there's probably one small thing you'd like to do for yourself. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be public. It's just yours. Because in the end, life isn't about how long we walk, but whether we make it home. Thank you for coming this far. May the rest of your journey be lighter, warmer, and more peaceful. Before this video truly ends, let me invite you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let it out calmly. If you're still here, it means one important thing. This story found your heart. And that's no accident. Life doesn't lead us anywhere for no reason, including bringing you to this video. For the last few minutes, we haven't talked about major mistakes. We haven't blamed the past. We've simply sat together and been honest about time, about choices, about life sometimes moving too fast. And if you feel this story feels like it's about me, trust me, many people around the world feel the same way. There's one thing I want to say gently. No year is truly wasted. Every year teaches us something, even if the lessons are only now. And the realization that comes today is a truly precious gift. No matter what age you're watching this, 50, 60, 70, or older. Life isn't closing a door. Life is simply saying quietly, now, let's tread more lightly. Slower, more honestly, kinder to ourselves. If there's one small thing you want to take away from this video, let it be this. You're not too late. You're just in time to understand. And that's enough. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for listening with your heart. And thank you for being part of this peaceful space. If this video has warmed your heart, don't forget to like it. Please share it with someone who might need it too. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Leave a simple comment about what touched your heart the most, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next heartwarming story. Your small support means so much to so many people around the world. Now, let this screen slowly darken. But may your heart become a little brighter. May your steps become lighter. And may the rest of your life's journey be filled with gratitude, serenity, and peace. Thank you. And until we meet again.